So, hey everybody, it's JoJo Alonso from 105.3 The Beat, and I'm here for the Women's International Month conversation. And I have some very, very prestigious women with me, and I am super excited and super honored to be here. And so I want you guys to let everyone know what you have going on. But first, I'm going to say exactly who we have, because we have some people, women, black women, and I am super excited. So we have Ashley Thompson, Eboni Stiff, Jessica Brown, Mimi Carpenter, Shante Traynham, okay, Treva Williams, and Tia Norfleet. All right, so we're gonna go around and you guys just explain just a little bit of what you have going on. It's a lot, and don't be modest. Just pop it. Let them know what you got going on.
Hi everyone, I'm Treva Williams. I am an executive producer for Viacom CBS. Outside of that, I am also a transitional life coach, and I focus on helping people getting to their truth, which is dealing with who you are and being able to move forward. My background comes everything from a military background to administration to marketing, advertisement, which took me to music and now has landed me in television. And everything that I've done from military to now has led me to this moment.
All right.
Very cool. My name is Ashley Thompson again, and I have been an anchor and reporter for the better part of a decade, really. Have been in local news, and it's been a joy, and I'm actually transitioning into more of a podcast space right now. So recently launching a podcast with my best friend, and it's pretty successful so far. We've got about 20,000 downloads, so we're proud of that, having just launched. So that's where we're at.
Hello, my name is Tia Norfleet. I am the first African-American female to be licensed in NASCAR and ARCA. I am a second-generation driver, and I also have a nonprofit for young girls, teaching them the basic fundamentals of car maintenance, like how to change a tire, how to check their oil, and just pushing self-motivation and self-confidence.
All right.
Hello, my name is Eboni Stiff, and I'm from Allure Realty in Tampa, Florida. What's special about Allure Realty, our brokerage was featured on Netflix because Sherelle Rosado started Allure Realty, and she's the first black-owned brokerage, all-black female brokerage in Tampa, Florida. So we're trying to break into the realty market, not into the realty market, I apologize, into the luxury market. I also am the owner of a bail bonds company in Tampa, Florida. So I've owned that company for 10 years, transitioned into real estate because of some of my clients. They were actually my first clients, so.
Hey everyone, my name is Jessica Brown. I'm also known as College Girl. I am the founder of College Girl, the author of How to Pay for College When You're Broke, the author of College Girl's First College Tour, which is a children's book, and I'm also the president of the nonprofit, the College Girl Foundation, which provides DMV minority youth an opportunity to experience college, to create a world of opportunity for them to become the next future leaders of tomorrow. Additionally, I'm getting a PhD in higher education.
Hi, my name is Shante Traynham, and I am the CEO of Eyelash Vision, CEO of Quiet Giants Entertainment. I come by way of New York City. I got into the business first in the magazine industry, doing the magazine industry with like Russell Simmons, Damon John, and then from there, I moved here to move a record label. And really made it move and shake. And from there, we opened up our own business. This is my sister, by the way, and you'll meet her in a moment. And then opening up our own business was something really great to do because we wanted to start this in the family. You know, it was not many family members that owned businesses, that were their own bosses. We began working first for a law firm. We're first immigration paralegals. We came there first, got into this music industry, and we've been booming and making a great difference. Owned in a marketing and brand agency and doing extensive PR was just gravy. And now we're very pleased to branch off into other different businesses that you'll get to know more about, restaurants that we're about to open, franchise, by the way, and first of our family to do something like that. And it's just a pleasure and an honor to be here to honor all women, because women are very strong, we're very powerful. We bring a lot to the table. Not only are we nurturers in our homes, but we're nurturers in business. And at this point in life, you see a lot of women growing in their businesses and flourishing because they're at the forefront. So today is a very special day for us all.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mimi Carpenter,
co-founder of Eyelash Vision Marketing Branding PR Agency and co-CEO of Quiet Giants Entertainment. My sister and I, as she said, we opened a company and we do marketing and branding, PR services for a lot of celebrities. Some of your well-known celebrities that you love. We love to do artist management and developing with artists, teaching them how to actually be an influential artist, an artist that works hard at their craft. And I love to build and create different opportunities for women and men.
All right. Now, I know that was a lot, but we have a lot of powerful women here. And like I said, I'm extremely honored. And to piggyback off of what you said, women, I'm happy. I'm glad to be a woman because we are strong. We are powerful. And we do not get enough credit for what we do. We work hard. We're nourishing. We do all of that, like you said. So it is International Women's Month. I do feel like it should be International Women's Year every year, all year, because we do go through a lot of things. And that being said, I want to ask, what are some of the obstacles that you guys had to go through to get to where you are, being a woman and even being a Black woman?
I think I'll speak to it from the aspect of being a Black woman because that's the only woman that I know.
Exactly.
So from the point of being a Black woman, I think for me, my everyday kind of challenge in this game is my voice, right? Making sure that I am conscious of my voice, that I am wise with my voice, and that I use my voice, and also that I don't lose it. And knowing the power of my voice and when and how to measure and use it in the rooms that I'm in. And understanding that my voice, regardless of my intention, of my words and my position, puts certain people in a certain place and mindset. Yeah. So having the power of my voice allows me to understand that first and foremost, my biggest challenge is not even a challenge anymore. It's my biggest recognition is that I know that because I am a Black woman, that I can't say what every other woman that is not Black can say, yeah, regardless of the situation. So I know that I understand that. And before it was a challenge for me, but now for me, it is something that I use in recognition and able to lobby myself in a room. And I understand that. And as a woman in general, I was raised understanding, and I teach my children. I have 5 adult children, but I have taught them from the time they've come to of understanding that all the rules don't apply to you. Mm-hmm. I don't care the level of progression and where we at. And listen, no other country I would ever want to live in, but this one right here of America with all of her good issues. Right? I'm not trying to live anywhere else. Okay, but in that understanding that where we are and where we are not. And working from that place. And again, it doesn't make me, it's not me diminishing myself, but it's understanding that I have to be, as an executive at a major conglomerate, media conglomerate, I have to be, I'm expected to be 5 times better than the person that's over me.
Exactly.
Yeah, and understanding to use my voice in a way to where they'll hear me and receive me versus being intimidated.
And before the next speaker speaks, I just want to say, and that's another thing that a lot of people may not understand. It takes a lot out of a woman mentally, physically. We know how to adjust to certain environments and situations and know, hey, I know what I want to do, but I know that I have to do it this way. So I can have a voice for you to hear, because I have a voice, but I have to get you to hear it. So I do understand that.
I think the biggest challenge for me just in real estate is when I meet other young Black people, they don't understand the value in owning real estate. So it's hard to even convince some of them to understand, hey, it's okay to own it. It's okay. You can do it. We have to start with fixing your credit. Mm-hmm. Once we get your credit fixed, then you can have home ownership, because I was originally born and raised in Miami. So graduating from the inner city schools, there wasn't a lot of people around us that owned homes. So we didn't know that. We knew apartments, we knew renting, and we didn't feel like we were a part of the American dream growing up, the house with the white picket fence. And now once you tap into that power and realize you can do it, and you have a woman leading you, showing you the way, like, hey, I own a home. Hey, you can do this. It's so powerful. And the amount of people, the Black people that I've been able to help and show them that they can own a home and have value is amazing.
Well, the good thing about me is I got the deepest voice on this panel. So when I go in the room, I demand and command respect. I don't care what color the room is. And I'm probably the shortest and the deepest voice in the room. But that has been one of my gifts, because I'm able to talk to anyone. I'm able to converse with anyone, and people can truly understand where I'm coming from. And I think right now we live in a world where it's so many political issues going on that we just all have to just figure out how to collectively come together. And for me, youth and education has been a common theme, no matter what race I come across. Everybody's trying to uplift the next future generation and leaders of tomorrow. So that's kind of been one of my gifts in this space, to where as though I've had challenges in terms of funding or getting my name out there, but at the end of the day, everybody wants children to win. Yeah. So for me, that has kind of really been a win in my winning season.
I can actually say, in a male-dominated industry, being in music and entertainment, standing your ground as a woman, overcoming, I'll say, maybe sexual advance that people may make at you because you're a woman. And they may think, well, if you want to do this, then you have to do that. But Shante and I demand our respect from when we come to the door, from each and every person that we deal with, and they understand that. And sometimes being female executives, to get them to actually really take you seriously, I find that sometimes to be a challenge. Yeah. But once they see, and they'll take our assertiveness as aggressive. And it's not aggressive, it's just getting the point across in a thorough way. For me, I'd have to say one of the biggest challenges would be challenging in conversation when it comes down to knowledge. Sometimes as black women, people may look at us and say, well, she would know that, or she doesn't know that, or she doesn't have knowledge of that. But the knowledge that we have, that's the gift in itself. And you have to always convey that to people. And sometimes they don't understand where you get it from. How did you learn this? Everything that we've learned, they can learn. And the challenge in conversations, I've sat across the table with people and they tried to have a conversation with me, which is fine. I love having a conversation. But when we're talking business, let's talk business. Let's be direct. Tell me what it is that you need from me. Let me tell you what I can offer you and how we can make this work. So the extra conversations, I tend not to do. There's no extra conversation. So they kind of look at me as, like today, black and white. I'm always black and white. It's black and white for me. You have to paint the picture. But the challenging conversations come in when you sit across the table from all men. And these men, because of their strength, because of their men, they're supposed to know more. They're supposed to be stronger. I want you to think back to the days in years ago. Women would go into fields where they were picking cotton and they had children. Yeah. They had children in the field. They would clean off their baby. Their baby would be wrapped and they would continue working in that same day. These are the strong women that you see here today. That's the power that we possess as nurturers. We have some of us that do have children. We have to nurture our children. Those that have husbands, we have to nurture our husbands. We have to be family women as well as business women. So when we sit across those tables to do business with gentlemen, with other black women, with white people, Chinese people, it doesn't matter what race it is, you have to always let them know where you stand and where you come from.
I think as far as for me, being in a male-dominated sport and especially being in an industry that has been around 80 plus years and I've never seen anyone in the industry that looks like me, it's always been a challenge because I am not the normal driver, the traditional person that they see in that industry. So when I come and I have my culture, I represent my culture because I feel like representation is everything. As you should. You need someone to look like you, so that you can say, oh, if she did it, I could do it too. Exactly. And that's always been my goal. And I've come across a lot of challenges because, like I just said, this industry has been around 80 plus years. And there's never been not one black female ahead of me. And so I have to carry a lot of the slack. And I'm okay with that because I know that this is bigger than me. And I know that at the end of the day, even if I don't set it on fire, at least I lit the torch. You know what I'm saying? So I could have someone else that's looking up to me, brown, black, Puerto Rican, whatever, to say, you know what? She did it. I can do it too. I can do it too. I remember I used to watch Living Single when I was younger. Same. And even though it was fake characters, but to see Max as a lawyer, you know what I'm saying? You need that representation. Even if it was fake, it sparks an idea in someone's mind. But we as women, we go through a lot. And in the industry, at home, all of that. But I wouldn't want to be anything else, especially a black woman. I wouldn't want to be any. I'm glad
That's it right there. You said it with that one.
I do want to piggyback on this because the word keeps coming up, and it happens a lot, especially in these women forums, the word strong.
Yes.
And if I don't say anything else today, I want to make sure that the message gets across that everyone else labeling us strong at sometimes is a disservice to us.
Yes.
And we need to give ourselves as women, as executives, as leaders, as mothers, as wives, as sisters, friends, every permission to not be strong in a moment. I don't have to carry it all. I don't have to deal with it all. And absolutely at this age of my life where I'm at, about to be 54, I will not carry it all. I will allow myself to say something is too much for me. I'm a woman of faith at heart. I cuss a little, but I love Jesus. But my woman of faith, what I know to be true is that, we throw around a lot of scripture and said, God will never put on you more than you can bear.
Amen.
My understanding of my faith is that that's true. And I'm allowed to tell God when it's too much.
Amen.
I'm allowed to say to God, this right here, this one here is a lot, and she doesn't want it.
Okay, I can't take
it. And I don't want us as women to be imprisoned by this strength we're supposed to have. And strength does not mean that we don't know what to do in a moment, that we're not frustrated, that we're not heartbroken. That is not the antithesis of strength.
Yes.
But sometimes it's okay, dang it, to get in the shower and cry or whatever. But I just want to release us and release whoever watches this of that word strong. It is beautiful, but it's also very, very imprisoning.
Yes, and to piggyback off you, before you speak, Ashley, I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak as well. But to piggyback off what you said about us being strong, I actually had a breakdown maybe about 2 weeks ago. I have a daughter. She's 5 years old. I'm a single mom, and I'm out here. I'm grinding. I moved to Atlanta from Chicago. Just me, her, faith, and a dream. And I came out here and I did it. In a year, took me to get on radio, but I had a breakdown because I said, I am tired of being strong. I am so tired of everyone looking at me as like I'm just so strong. Yeah, I know I come off and I look like I'm just this strong individual, but deep down, I am breaking down. I'm taking care of my family over here. Everyone's family is not put together. I have family members that need my help, So I'm over here breaking my back for not only, my family, but my other family, my daughter. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and for me, and sometimes I forget to think about myself and what makes me happy and what I'm doing. And I'm just like, I'm tired of being strong. Like, can somebody just be strong for me?
Yes. And your breaking down is the strongest thing you could do for yourself. And we're told that we have to be strong and we have to be selfless. And I'm telling you that it is okay to be vulnerable, to break down, and to be fucking selfish.
Yeah.
It is okay to be selfish. It took me almost 50 years to learn that. I get to say what's okay for Treva, and I talk a lot in third person, so don't judge me, but I do that because like I need it. It's for me. It's mine. It's okay to be that. And I deal with a lot on the shows that I'm filming, but I'm hearing that those resonating sounds. Oh, that's selfish if you do that, or you're so strong. That means you're not gonna help me. That's what that is.
I get that a lot. Yeah.
But I
Like
feel
you
like
think that I can do it and I don't need your help
Right.
because I come off as so strong, and that be the problem. Yeah,
That's your cop out to not do anything about my situation. Is it, girl? You strong.
you can do it. You're not going through nothing.
It happens in families too, because I remember growing up, I go and ask my grandma for something. She say no. So I would tell my sister, hey, go ask grandma. She'll tell you yes. And then as I got older, I'm like, oh, grandma, how come you would tell me no, but tell her, because I know you could do it. And I'm like, that's not fair. That's not fair. Just because you know I can, or you think I can, or because you think I have a better support system from my dad's side of the family.
Exactly.
It's not fair. So I completely understand and agree. And it filters over into your family life as well.
And for you, Ashley?
I echo everything all of these ladies. I'm just sitting here inspired. Like, I could be in the audience, everything that you ladies have said. I can only speak to my experience in local news. And I think it's both a blessing and a curse, right? That we have to, Atlanta's a great space. And I think sometimes we take for granted that we're in this space with all of these beautiful Black women and a Black community. But it hasn't always been that way when not here and in different states. And so it was a privilege, but it was also a challenge to sometimes be the only one to tell certain stories and to fight to tell certain stories and to have to prove why they are newsworthy. Yes. We're getting better at that now, but you guys know there have been so many instances people of color go missing. It's crickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crickets. And so being the only one sometimes in news stations fighting to tell stories about myself and our people has been certainly a challenge, but I also consider it a privilege because, as you said, there's got to be somebody there.
Right.
There's got to be somebody at the table.
Okay, so like I was saying earlier, I did move from Chicago with my daughter, and one of the main reasons why I left was because in the industry that I was in, I didn't feel like there was anyone there willing to help me learn. All I wanted to do was learn. How to be in these events, or how to be that girl or that woman that you are. I just want to learn, and they weren't willing to do that. So my question is how important is it to have a mentor to help you grow as a leader, as a boss?
Well, one of my favorite quotes that I live by is your network is your net worth. I didn't get here with all you beautiful women without having a network. So I think it's so important, that fearless component. My friends can tell you I'm a one-man band. I could play all parts, and I go anywhere and I can talk to anyone. But one of my other friends, one of my homegirls said, Jessica, that is a gift. Everybody's not gifted like that. Everybody just can't go to the bar and go find a sponsor, to sponsor your initiatives and stuff like that. So I think it's really just being in the right spaces and the power of the ask, right? We are such independent women that we don't ask. We don't ask for help. We don't tell people that we're lonely. We don't tell people that we're really going through something. But the reality is that when you rely on certain people, and the crazy thing is, it's a gift and a curse too, because you can't really rely on your circle.
Yeah.
You end up, I've learned in this game, I rely on people I just met to put me in places. Mind you, my friends know my dreams, tell them everything. They don't help me. I ain't trying to say that in a bad way. Sorry, friends. Sorry, friends. But,
Right.
But, I have associates and affiliates that I'm not very close to that believe in my vision and believe in my dreams more than the people that I sit next to every single day. And I think it's so important that we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, because the uncomfortable situations is what breeds greatness.
Right.
I'm always in an uncomfortable situation, because when you're content, you'll never grow. One of my friends will be like, oh, well, why you hang out at this hotel? I ain't gonna say.
Okay.
Well, why you hang out at this hotel? Well, Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C. I'm
As
just
you
saying,
should.
right? But I hang out there because sometimes I meet people and I can talk to people and I get sponsors and they understand me. At that, but why would you? I'm not supporting him.
Right.
But this is where the money resides.
This is where the money
You get what I'm saying? This is where the money resides.
Catch me here.
But the problem is with us, we don't put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. If we put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation, we're compromising something. When in reality, we're growing from something. We're learning from somebody else. And I think that is so important that we begin to reach outside the box, right? Familiarity is not getting us nowhere to where we already are. We still stuck with the same man doing the same things in the same apartment with no growth.
Okay.
You know, so it is so important that we put ourselves in. That's the truth.
Speak.
You know?
But see, there are some women who just don't know the direction to go. You know, they may feel like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do, but that might be wrong because of what they've seen from their past or what their parents are doing, and that may not always be the right way. So it's I guess what I'm asking is, how is it having like someone to actually teach you, like a mentor or mentorship, you know, someone actually to tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. Basically what you do already.
You still got to listen. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. You can have people in your corner that really pour into you, but if you're not listening, you'll never get the message. If you're not changing your mindset, you'll never get to that next level. So I really think that a lot of us, we have to become more open-minded. We have this independent, I'm a boss B, can't nobody tell me nothing, when in reality is that we need to take a step back and listen to people. When I understand opinions are opinions, everybody will have one. However, there are certain things in some of these opinions that may be really valuable, and it's really up to us to incorporate some of those things into our world, into our space.
It takes a village to raise a child. And I have to say that growing with our dad, God bless his soul, was the vice chair of the NAACP in New York City. Amen. And growing in that environment, he actually taught us, you know, these are the things that you need to be doing. We were taught from a man. Our mom taught us plenty. Everything about the cooking, the clean, everything that women teach women. But our father taught us everything that's in business. So when we sat down to the table, before having breakfast, and I know it may sound weird, but he'd take the back off the television and take off every part. We had to remember where the parts come from and put the television pieces back together and put it back together. We thought it was just one of the rudest things ever. Like, why would he make us do that? It was from memory. I didn't understand that at that young age. I'm like, why are we doing this? Not only that, we had answers and questions across the table. We talked about business. We read the New York Times together. You know, current events we talked about. And, you know, you have to gather these things. These mentors, my mentor, I have to say, is my dad. My mentor's always been my dad. And when he left, you know, my heart, I was just torn apart, but I was left with such a gift. I was left with so many jewels to use for a lifetime to teach my children, so that my children could teach their children. It is rewarding to know that mentorship is very important. And women that are growing up, young girls that are growing up, they need mentors because today's society teaches them something totally different. Yes. They don't teach them mentorship. They teach them all types of things, but mentorship is one of them that is subtracted from that equation. And we need that. We need someone to train us, to teach us the way to go. And sometimes children, they don't even want to listen at this point because they're being trained a different way. So households are very important. The environment that you grow up in is very important. I didn't know how important that was until I got older because I watched other people that were around my family, that was on the outside of my family, and the way they raised their children, I was like, oh my God, that's going to be a problem in years to come. And you watch it happen. So that mentorship, I look forward to. And a person like you that sit here and say that I like to learn are the type of people that we like to pour into. We pick up a lot of different people all over in the industry, and if we can teach you something, if we can help you build something, anything that we can pour into you to make you greater, those are the type of things that we like to do.
As for me, my mentor, luckily, and this is one reason why I started my nonprofit for young females, is because my mentor was really, like you said, to piggyback off you, my father. You know, and a lot of women may not have that presence, but then on the opposite side, I'm an alpha female, and I attract male energy, masculine energy. And I had to get to a point where I had to really check myself and say, you know what? I need feminine energy. I need to really be around women, you know what I'm saying, I can pour into them and they can pour into me. Because a lot of times I was just always attracting men, not necessarily on a sexual level or anything like that, but just attracting men. And I was like, you know what? I need the feminine energy. I want to be around my tribe. I want to be around, even if it is a male, female, but I needed that more of a feminine energy, because it takes both to balance. It takes both to create anything. To create life, you have to have masculine and feminine energy. And I think a lot of women, and even with my situation with the girls that I was talking to, they didn't even like women. You know what I'm saying? Not in a sense of, but they didn't even like being around girls. They always wanted to be around the guys. And again, not necessarily in a sexual way, but that's just what they, went to. And then you see a lot of women that don't get along or don't want to help each other, or they'll say on social media that we're so girl power. And then in reality, you're not. Right. You know what I'm saying? You faking it. And I had to realize that I needed to be around more women that really were genuine and that really could teach me something. Because my dad always told me, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong damn room. Okay. And so being around Mimi and Shante, you know what I'm saying? Genuine love, genuine females that really want to support into me. That's exactly what I needed. And that's what I wanted to give to the girls that I talk to, because you need that. Like I said, representation is everything. You need that type of energy around you. So again, my dad was my mentor. Without him, I probably wouldn't have been in it, because he taught me not only how to race, but he taught me the business of it, and to know that, one, don't let anybody take advantage of you. Stand up for what you believe. And again, you always need somebody to look up to.
I want to say, for me, I have my mentorship. I still get mentored at my age. I still look for who I want to be outside of myself at this time. And what I have done in my life, I had a very colored kind of childhood. I grew up, my parents were young when they had me. Both parents technically in the house and around. However, they had other kind of issues. I, grew up, emotionally, mentally, and at times physically abused. So what I challenge myself to look for me at every stage that I needed of me. Yeah. And I have groomed myself out of my lack. And so one of my business mantras is that I have duplication. So I think that for all of us, we know the ups and downs and what it is to work with women, not work with them. And we know the people that don't want to learn and teach, but we have to keep ourselves in a duplication mode and make it a part of our mission. Like, I am on a mission that every job I take, I duplicate myself. Yeah. I make sure that there's another version of me that I train up. I look for something about anybody that I recognize and where they're lack at, and I never let myself not talk to the little girl in me and be like, oh, I see her. Yes. Oh, I know what this is. And then I pour into that. And then I also understand, for me as a woman of a certain age, that mentorship doesn't mean friendship. Right. I don't need to be friends with you to learn from you. Exactly. And I think sometimes we get that cross signaled up, and that's what happens in the whole mentorship game. You don't have to be my friend. I could damn not like you. There's plenty of chick out in these streets, in this industry, that I'm not going to lunch with you, Pumpkin, and we definitely not going on no girl trip. But however, I see you, and there are things in you that I see, your moves and motivation, and I'm able to glean for that. And I think when we learn the difference of that, and then pairing ourselves as you're looking for a mentor, matching, I get a lot of calls of mentorship, and once I talk to the person, I'm like, oh, I can't help you, baby. But let me point you here, here, and here. And if it's not a physical person, it's at least an information resource to potentially get you to a person. So I just think if we could just keep the spirit of duplication and understand that to whom much is given, as much is required.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was going to say, it's so important to have people like you in the industry and around. And it's so refreshing, because for me, just in real estate, to try to find mentorship, people think you're trying to take their business. Yes. So women don't want to teach you. They feel like, oh, well, if I teach her this, she's gonna know this, and I'm like, sweetie, what God has for me is for me, and what God has for you is for you, and it's gonna be okay if we get together and do this thing. But a lot of people, they don't want to teach you, because they feel like you're going to
surpass them.
You're going to surpass them, and you're going to do it anyway. Yeah. either way it go. You're going to do it because, like I said, my blessing is going to be my blessing. When it's time for it to flow, it's going to flow and ain't nobody going to stop it. So it's going to happen, but it's so refreshing to have people and to find, like, you say, look, I can't do it, but this is the person that can. This is the person that can. And that's how I find myself. That's how I am. And I think for me, that's why I'm such the type of person where I'm going to try to figure it out on my own and learn it on my own, because I really didn't have anybody to teach me certain things when it comes to business. I'm the first one in my family to graduate college with a bachelor's degree. And I was like, you know what? My best friend, she was like, keep going. I'm going to get my master's, you get yours. So I was like, okay. So she got her master's, I got my master's. So it kind of like, as I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, my best friend was kind of my mentor.
Yes.
And then as I do things as a woman, as I grow older, I realize I'm just like my mom, not realizing that she was mentoring me the whole time. But for me, I find it difficult to find people like yourself that is willing to teach, because people are afraid that if they teach you, you're going to take over.
Yeah.
It's certainly that way in television, as we probably all know too. And I was going to speak to that a little bit. And, it's funny that I'm in a position now that people email me or DM me and say, can you look at my work? Can you critique this? And sometimes, we're so busy. I'm just like, and then I think, this was me. This was me. I better do it. And so I never, pass it by. I always take up critiques. I always help those who are not under, but who have come after me, right? But I think in television, it is cutthroat. It is competitive. And especially Black women, there's even lesser of us in some of these positions and companies. And so I have been blessed to have a few mentors who have just been people who have dropped my name in rooms full of opportunity and, have, it's almost like a confidence thing, right? They were secure enough in themselves to drop my name in these rooms. And so I think that's just paramount and really important. And I hope that we can do better just as women and as Black women and trying to help those who have come after us.
Yes.
Absolutely. Mentorship is one of the key elements to any success, whether you're in entertainment, whether it's just your lifestyle. And everyone always screaming, boss, 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 this. But in order to be a great leader, you have to be an amazing follower.
Yeah.
And I thank God that I had the advantage to share this level of where I feel I've reached, where I'm proud of myself, with my sister, my confidant, with one of my best friends, Tia Norfleet, with one of my mentors, Trivia, with one of my great friends, Eboni, with one of my other great friends, Ashley, with a new great friend. So you need that. You need the support of women, genuine support. Because we have the dream killers. You'll tell someone, you ever told somebody some of your dreams? Girl, you can't do that.
Oh my
That's
God.
too much, whatever. That depletes from your energy. Yes. It's just like, it's like, I call those vampire energies, where they want to just take away a piece of or make you doubt because of what they can't do. And it takes so much strength of being able to know that you can and will and step out on faith. And I'll give you a quick story. I used to be a New York City correction officer in Rikers Island, making 6 figures. I hated that job. No pun intended. It was a good salary for my family, but I know I didn't. I didn't wake up and say, hey, I can't wait to go with the rapists, killers, and murder. I just can't wait to go. Every day when I drove across that Rikers Island long 2-mile bridge, I had a sickening in my stomach, but I knew this was something that I had to do to feed my family. Because at that time, I was a newly divorced mother with the son. It took hours away from me, from my parenting, from my son, but that was a sacrifice that I had to do to make my life better. And in that little bit of me that didn't want to do it, she called me, girl, step out on faith. This is not what you really want to do, because my spirit was unhappy. I was smiling, I was reporting to work, and I was doing a great job, but I hated it.
No, I totally understand and I get that, because I was in a similar situation as well. God has always been yanking me by my hair, like, get out of there, like, go. Right. You don't need to be there, And I did that for my daughter. I had to make money. I was working cocktail serving at a casino. I did bottle service in the club, just making fast money. Now, there was never not one time that I wasn't in there networking. Right. I met everybody who I needed to meet. I knew everybody who I needed to know. But I didn't need to be in there, and I needed to come on out. and I need to have a little faith and, go after what I needed to go after. You have some say?
Yeah, I just want to kind of close this thing out because I know we're probably going to transition to the next thing. But being an entrepreneur has been very challenging, and the biggest challenge has been opportunity. We don't pour into each other, and we all have to realize somebody got us to this couch.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like we get to a certain point that we forget that. We forget to pour into other people because we feel like they're going to take our bag. Guess what? Jesus always going to have my bag because my bag is not going to forsake me, and I think we forget about that, right? We get into this thing of, oh, this person's going to take my job. And I'm so happy you do the news because now I do a lot of international press. I have no publicist. I've been on live news over 50 times. But when I come into different news spaces with people that look like me, I'm not coming to take your job. I don't want to wake up at 3 o'clock every day and report the news and lay my edges down. I'm here for my 2 minutes and I'm out of here. But I feel like some of us women of color, we're in competition with one another.
Yeah.
When there's so much out here, we all can eat. And I feel like we forget that part. It's like, oh, she trying to take my lash business because I want to learn lashes or whatever it is. Like, no, everybody need lashes. You ain't got none.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's millions of humans out here, right? But we feel as though everybody's trying to take our business and take our shine. When and I hate to say it like this, my counterparts have been more giving and more pouring into me than my sisters. And how do we change that trajectory? Yeah. How do we all decide collectively we all can eat from the same plate? Because we all got here because someone else helped us get to that table. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that message is lost in translation. It's like, oh, well, I don't want her to do what she can do. Guess what? Can't nobody do it how I do it. And that's the difference between you and I. And that's why we are both winning in our different areas, right? Mm-hmm. But we feel as though that, oh, this person's going to take my slice of the pie. And it's not like, no, like we can all eat together. And I feel like we all need to have these sister conversations and figure out how to uplift that community. Yeah. Like we're not in competition with one another. We're all trying to progress to the same place.
They all have to remember where they come from. Period. You have to remember where you come from. Just really quick story. I moved here from New York City with $23, and I had 4 outfits when I moved here. I left my husband and my kids in New York to make a way here, and I did not want to come here. When I came here, I only listened to gospel music, and then when I got here and the position that God put me in, I didn't want it. It wasn't for me, but God said it is for me. And he said, you have to go there and you have to clean up. That's your job. Go there and clean up. So I was an assistant to the record label owner, and then I moved in a position of executive director because of what I knew about the industry and the relationships I had already had. And I had to listen to this music. I had to dissect this music, dissect the personalities that I had to deal with, and then I had to clean house. I cleaned house, and I told my husband, give me 6 months. Give me 6 months. I'm going to make this work for us. In 6 months, I had our house. I had our car. I did it in 5 to be exact. And my husband came and he bought the kids. And when him and the kids moved, I told him to leave everything in New York or give it all away. Everything is already furnished here. Their rooms are already done. When they came here, they came into this. But this was because of the fact that I had to be a good student. That student part of who you are, you never can lose that part of you because you can never stop learning. And I was a very good student. I know how to listen and follow directions and to grow, and how to network with people is really great.
Yes.
And so being able to take care of my family on one salary, I told my husband leave his job in New York. We ended up opening several businesses after that. My husband now owns a tour bus company, which helps my clients in music. So he takes them out on tour. He tours with Tyler Perry. He does a lot of different things in touring, but it became almost like $1 in a dream.
Yeah.
Move with nothing. Like, God, I have no way to get back. There is no other way for me to get back. Either I'm going to do this or I'll be sleeping under the bridge trying to get back to my kids. And that wasn't going to happen for me. So collectively as a unit, as women, you have to remember where you came from. That's the main objective, because no matter how far you go, you still came from where you came from.
Right. And before I, wrap things up, I do want to say that we have a lot of things in common. Number one, we Black. We're women, and we have faith. I've noticed everyone when they talk, one of the main things that they said, or that you all said, is that you have faith. And I personally feel like that is the number one thing that us as women and people need to have is faith, because you can't do nothing without faith. And you got to make sure that you put in the work that you need to do in order to get done what you need to get done, if that makes sense. Yes. Faith without works is dead, right?
JoJo,
Exactly.
can we end with a quote? Can we all go around the room and share a quote that inspires us?
You know what? Yes, let's end it with a quote, shall we? Yeah, y'all got some quotes that you
I'll start.
Yeah, I know you got some in there. Okay.
I think.
Okay, let me think of something.
I think one quote that I live by, especially it being International Women's Month, is that Dr. Janice Bryan Howroy, she's like one of the top billionaires who owns her own staffing company, and one of my mentors, she always says, never compromise who you are personally to get to where you want to be professionally. And I think that is so important for us as women, because we live in this world where all we see all day on social media is women compromising who they are personally to get to where they want to be professionally. So I just want to say, stay true to yourself, stay authentic, and no matter what's for you will never forsake you. Okay, and you guys want me to go last or? Okay, yeah, because I feel like y'all need to come up with something. No, so it's not even a quote. It's a scripture. Oh, yeah, a scripture. Yeah, that's it. So it's mine is I've lived off this my entire life. It's walk by faith, not by sight. Yeah, that's mine. Okay. I know mine too.
I think. Mine would be get right or get left.
Please, can you say that again, because he watching?
Get right or get left. Period.
Mine is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good of those that love God and are called according to his purpose. And what I have learned through that my life has had many challenges. And when I hear what you talk about, the job that you were in that you didn't like, the job, that place where you were, that, you didn't feel like you were flourishing from mentorship. But if we go back to all of those places and moments, they were necessary, and today wouldn't be today without every minute you spent in those places. No, seriously. And so all things working together, and I always tell my kids, it may not feel good, but in the end, it's all going to be good. And that is what I hold to, because when I think about the hardest things in my life, that's why I don't have I don't have regrets for anything. I don't regret one thing, because one thing wouldn't have got me to where I wouldn't have had it. Right. My life in the military. I was a single mother. I had 2 kids. Listen, I got 3 kids biologically. Okay, each one of them got a different daddy. I don't know the baby daddy name in the middle. I don't remember. I don't know. That was a rough week. My grandmother had died. Okay, so I was in mourning. We don't know. All right. But I'm okay with that. And my children know that, my life. But all of those moments and things had to happen. I had 2 kids, 2 different fathers by the time I was married the first time. I just celebrated 24 years of my second marriage. That's amazing. I mean? But all of those things, every job I had, every person that I felt broke, that I thought broke me, every worst day that I thought this is the worst day of my life, I survived it. And it's all because at the end of the day, it's going to be all good. Yeah. Any more quotes?
I'm just going to piggyback off hers, because mine is Romans 8:38. In all things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. And so I repeat that to myself often, that I am a conqueror. Yeah.
For me, I would say mine is don't look like what you've been through.
Okay.
You would never know, but I'll share with you briefly. I'm a 10-year breast cancer survivor. Okay. Off of 10 years of my life. Yes, you did it. Yes, and you don't look like it. Thank you. Beautiful. I was 28 years old. Wow. Diagnosed, young age. Did not ring the bell until July of last year. Wow. Okay. I have a 19-year-old daughter, a 13-year-old son.
That's amazing.
And when I say that, people are like, what? I don't have to look like anything that I've been through.
I know that's right.
I know I'm alive. I'm here. I woke up. I look fabulous.
And
you guys look fabulous. I feel fabulous. Yes. Okay. And so you don't have to look like what you've been through. After you had your breakthrough, after you've had your breakdown, have your breakthrough. Yeah. Have your breakthrough. and you'll be okay.
Mine is experience the experience, whatever the situation is, good or bad. If you can handle it, if God brought you through it, if God brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. Yep. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for your life. See, I at one point, I didn't know what the plans was. I was single, I was divorced, I was not knowing what I should do, but it was the faith, as we all keep saying, the faith. Keep it going and be true to thine own self. That's the only thing that I can tell you.
My quote would be, life is what you make it. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And what you do with your 24 hours, that's your business. But for me, I'm going to make it count.
I know that's right. So I just want to say that I am extremely honored to be here and get to talk to you guys, and for you guys to let everyone know what you have going on, what you've been through, your struggle, and to enlighten and to help, everyone that will be watching this, and to help me as well. Because even though you may not know, I'm sitting here, you don't know what I've been through or what I'm going through. And just sitting here and listening to all of you all's stories and knowing what you've been through, what you're going through, and your success, it really means a lot to me. And I know that means a lot to other people as well, other women, other Black children. And I just want to say thank you for that. And we are powerful and we are great. And I just want to give it up for us. So everybody make some noise for us. Okay? And my name is JoJo Alonso from 105.3 The Beat from iHeart Radio, and we're done.